Okay, hello. Let's learn more argument forms. First, I want to remind us from last time we learned modus ponens, which is any argument in this form, if P then Q, P, therefore Q. And then modus tollens, if P then Q, not Q, therefore not P. Okay? We learned that any argument in this form is valid. Any argument in this form, modus tollens, is also valid. All right. Now, here's something you want to watch out for. Notice if P then Q is a conditional, which we're familiar with now, there's an antecedent P and a consequent Q. Okay. Sometimes this could be called affirming the antecedent. This modus ponens can be called affirming the antecedent. Okay, now why? Because in this conditional, P is the antecedent, and that's what you're doing in premise 2. You're saying if P then Q is P is true, therefore Q. By asserting P here, you're affirming the antecedent. Okay? Now compare that with what's going on here. Modus tollens, in the second premise, are we affirming the antecedent? No. The antecedent is P, but here we're saying something about Q, and we're saying Q is false. Okay? So another name for modus tollens could be denying the consequent. Denying the consequent. Okay, this will help you understand the next two argument forms. Let's learn one of them right now. Okay, so I'll tell you guys the name at the very end. So this will be where I'll write the name eventually. But first, let's get a sample argument. So this one will have to do with me and my ethnicity. So if Moon is Chinese, then he's Asian. Okay. Is that true that if Moon is Chinese, then he's Asian? Yes, that is true. Premise 2. Now suppose, well, not suppose, I've already told you this. Am I Chinese? No, I'm not. I explained at the first day of class, I'm actually Korean. So Moon is not Chinese. Okay. Now, what might it be tempting to infer from this? You might be tempted to conclude or infer that Moon is Chinese and he's Asian. Moon's not Chinese. Therefore, Moon is not. Whoops. Moon is not Asian. Now, that can't be right, okay? So even though these premises are true, it doesn't seem like you can infer this. I mean, that doesn't seem logical. Unless, okay, that'd be funny if like I had a mask on and like I'm some white dude underneath or something. No, like I'm a clear case where I'm not Chinese, and even though it's true that if Moon is Chinese and he's Asian, it doesn't follow that I'm not Asian. Okay, so actually, this is going to be an invalid argument form. So invalid. Whoops, that's a frown face, not a smiley face. Frown. Okay. And so let's figure out like the argument form for this because we want to avoid this type of argument. So if P, then Q. Now, Moon is Chinese and he's Asian, so we can call this P. We can call this Q. Moon's not Chinese, that's P, so we should call this not P. And then he's Asian, Moon's not Asian. Q. So we should conclude not Q. Okay. So anything in this form is going to be invalid. Okay, if P then Q, not P, therefore not Q. And can you guess what this would be called? So if you remember earlier, we called this one affirming the antecedent. Okay, we call this one denying the consequent. So what do you think this one's going to be called? If you got it right, then you'll have gotten it right. It's going to be called denying the antecedent. Denying the antecedent. All right, and so there's another argument form, and it's an invalid one. All right, okay, let's go to the next one.